Here's where it starts to get interesting. The next day after Valentine's Day was a Friday. So I get a message from a friend of mine and he was like, so you know your boyfriend's a 6th grader, right? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmine Simone. So today I'm gonna do like a little story time, and this time I'm gonna tell y'all about the time that I got catfished, like back in high school. So yeah, so let's get into it. And a disclaimer before we start. Now, when this happened, I was like 14. I was like a freshman in high school, so that's something to keep in mind for this video. Alright, so one day on like a weekend or so, my friends and I, we were texting on Kik, because you know Kik was lit back in the day. It had all like the group chats and stuff like that. So we just had like a little group chat. I think it was like maybe 2 of my girlfriends and then maybe 2 or 3 of my guy friends at the time. I was friends with this dude. I'm gonna call him Martin. So my friend Martin had put this other dude in the group chat and his name was Chris. That was his real name. I'm not gonna like blur out his name because I don't even know if that was his real name or not. But anyway, so Martin had invited Chris in the group chat, and I guess Chris thought that I was cute or whatever. So Martin was like, oh, Jasmine, this is my cousin Chris. He wants to talk to you and get to know you or whatnot. So Chris texted me on the side. You know, we started texting and stuff. So I think we were like texting for a few days, and then like a few days after that, he just stopped texting. So I was like, whatever. Now at the time, I thought he was cute. I was like, this boy's kind of boy. So based on his picture and his profile picture, Martin was telling me that Chris go to the school that was like 15 minutes away from the school that we go to. And then he was telling me that, you know, he was the same grade and all that stuff. Probably the next week or so, then he hits me up again. And then like we just consistently was just like texting and stuff, but we never talked on the phone or anything. But I wasn't really like suspicious of that, probably because I wasn't really doing that much talking to people on the phone like, at that time. Then my friend Martin comes and he was telling me like, oh yeah, Chris really likes you and all that jazz. I think I was starting to like him a little bit more too, just based on texting. We were still like continuing to take probably for like 2 or 3 weeks. I think I only known him for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then we had like admitted that we both liked each other or whatnot over text. He had asked me to be his girlfriend, and me being a little naive at the time and really wanted a boyfriend and whatnot. So I was like, okay. So then I was like, alright, this is my boyfriend now. I got a boyfriend. So excited! So excited! It was like February when he had asked me out. So, you know, Valentine's Day was coming up in a couple weeks. So I was trying to meet up with him at a basketball game because I was a cheerleader in high school. So I was cheering for, not varsity, I was cheering on the JV team at the time. So after JV game was the varsity game. So when my game was over, then I was just like sitting around waiting for him. And I was like, I told my mom, I was like, oh, can you pick me up after the varsity game? So my mom was like, yeah, that's fine. But she didn't know that I was trying to meet a boy because I wasn't even supposed to have a boyfriend at the time. So yeah, I was kind of just sneaking around. So I waited at the game and I'm like looking around for him. I only had like 1 or 2 pictures of him, so I kind of like could kind of guess what he looked like or whatever. And I'm just like waiting at the game. I probably waited for like a good 30 minutes or so. I remember that game was like hecka packed. Like there was a lot of people, like the seats were full. And then I see a guy walking by that kind of just look exactly like him, and then I'm like texting him while I was at the game or whatever, and like no response. Like he didn't reply to me or nothing. So I was like, okay. I think I hit him up before the game and he told me that he was coming, but obviously he didn't even come. And then I saw my friend Martin, he was at the game, and then I was about to text him and be like, yo, where's your cousin? And he said he was gonna come with Martin. So after like 30 minutes or waiting or so, then I called my mom up. I was like, oh, can you come pick me up right now actually? She was like, oh, I thought you wanted to wanted to watch the varsity game with your friends. And I was like, I'm kind of tired, it's been a long night. So then she picked me up, and then I just go home. And then I think he had finally hit me back like the next day. And I was like, oh, I said, where were you? I thought you were coming to the game. And then he was like, oh yeah, he said something came up, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. The next week after that was Valentine's week. the week of Valentine's Day. I was trying to get him like a little Valentine's gift. So what I did was, since I couldn't go out and buy anything, because obviously my mom would have figured something out. So what I ended up doing was just making him a card, like homemade. I told him I had something for him, so I was like, so when can I see you so you can get it? He was like, oh, just give it to Martin and he can give it to me. I was like, why can't we just meet up or something? But I was like, okay. And then that same night, he was telling me that he was gonna have Martin give me my Christmas gift. I mean, not Christmas, Valentine's gift or whatever. So I was like expecting the gift. And then later on that week, my friend Martin had came up to me and then he was like, oh, how are you and Chris doing? I was like, oh, we're doing good, blah, blah, blah. He's really nice and sweet and whatnot. And he said, oh yeah, he talks about you all the time and he made you, he's making you a little poster for Valentine's Day. And he was like, oh, it said, like it had my name on it and stuff. That's what he claimed.
The fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Then I told Martin, I was like, oh, well, Chris said that he's gonna give the gift to you to give it to me. He was like, oh yeah, he told me all that. He said I'll give it to you later. So I said, all right. Valentine's Day comes. I made the card. I give it to Martin. And then Martin takes it and I guess he gives it to Chris. I don't know. Martin didn't have no gift for me. I was like, oh, I said, you get anything for Chris? He said, oh no, he said I'm gonna give it to you on Monday. Cause I think Valentine's Day was on a Thursday that year. So yeah, he was like, oh, I'll give it to you on Monday. And here's where it starts to get interesting. The next day after Valentine's Day was a Friday. So I don't remember if I had a basketball game for cheerleading or not. But I do remember I went home and I was pretty much just chilling on my phone. So I get a message from a friend of mine and he was like, so you know your boyfriend's a 6th grader, right?
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
And then I was like, no. I was like, this can't be. He was like, ask. So then, oh, I just said his name. He said, ask Martin. So I asked Martin. And I said, hey, so is Chris really a 6th grader? He was like, yeah.
If 2 plus 2 is 4, right? And 5 plus 5 is 10. Okay. What the fuck is this?
I was just in shock at that point. So I was like, so why did you tell me all this stuff? You told me he was a freshman like us. You told me he went to this other school. And like he was just telling me all these like lies. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell me that before? He was like, oh, well, he was paying me money to lie to you.
No. No! No! Say you swear to fucking God, bro.
I'm like, oh, so you lying to get money to lie. You're getting money to lie to your best friend. At that point, I was just done. Like, I was so upset. I think I was so upset to the point that I cried. So then, I text the boy, Chris, and then I was like, oh, I said, I know you're a 6th grader, so I said, this is over. You know what that little boy said to me? He had the nerve. He said, oh, well, you were ugly anyways. And then he said, oh, and I was cheating on you the whole time. I laughed that one off. I was like, whatever. I texted like all my friends. Like I had like quite a few friends at that time. And then they were all got like hecka upset too. They were like, and then I think they hit Martin up. They were like, why would you do that to Jasmine? Jasmine's a good person. She would never like hurt anybody, like do anything nasty to people, which is true. Then me and Martin were still texting on the side on Kik. And we were like going back and forth. I was like, well, why do you do it? I said, you should have just been straight up from the jump or whatever. And he said, well, you're stupid enough to date someone that you haven't even met in person yet. I'm like, look, the only reason I fell for it was because you came up to me telling me that this is your cousin, that he is real and all this stuff. Like, so of course, I'm like, and you're my friend, so I'm not going to say you're lying to me because you're my friend. I had trust in him. I have to tell y'all, the boy wasn't even his cousin after all. He was actually his neighbor. And then he had the nerve to say, oh, well, do you want to meet the real guy in the picture? He said, I actually know who it is. I'm like, no, because now I don't trust you. I don't know who's real and who ain't. So then I hit up Martin's cousin, who I was actually friends with, and he actually did go to our school, so we had classes together and stuff. So I hit him up, and I was like, so I said, did you know too? And he was like, yes. He said, I'm sorry. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? And then, because we were supposed to be like hecka close too. So the guy that did tell me, he was friends with them too, so they all hung with each other. So I'm actually glad that he did let me know. Then me and the dude Martin, we stopped talking that night, and then I was like talking to all my friends, and my friends had hit Martin up. I think I already said that. So yeah, so when they were hitting him up the next day, he was like, oh, he said, stop telling everybody. And I'm like, all I did was tell my friends. I'm like, I just got a lot of people that care about me. And then when we came back to school on Monday, me and Martin, we had a class together. The boy that told me that he was a 6th grader, he was in the class also. So when he saw Martin, he got upset and went up to him, and then like looks like he wanted to hurt him or whatever. So then he came to me, he was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah. I was like, that was pretty messed up, but whatever, I'm not going to talk to him no more. And then that next term, we had another class together. I was like, oh my god. But at that point, I think I pretty much just let it go. So eventually, he had hit me up like maybe 2 months later or so, and he actually gave me a real apology. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. He like, I shouldn't have did that because you're my friend and da 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 da. Then I forgave him, but I knew that I couldn't really get as close to him as we were before recording. Now I'm thinking about it, I feel like one of my friends, like one of my girlfriends, I feel like she had something to do with it. So I don't know if I'm overthinking, but let me know what y'all think in the comment, like what I'm about to tell y'all. So when me and the boy Chris were first like texting, and when he had like stopped texting for a few days, my friend had came up to me, my girlfriend, she had came up to me and like, have you heard from Chris? And I was like, no. I said, we haven't been texting for a few days. She said, oh, well, you'll hear from him today. And I was like, I don't know, I'm not really tripping. So why, when I get home later after school that day, he had hit me up. So I'm wondering if she had something to do with it. Oh, and then too, when I had found out, when I told her that the boy wasn't who he said he was, she was the only friend that I told that didn't really have a reaction. Like, she was kind of just like, oh wow, and like, that's it. Like, I'm not saying like I was expecting like a huge reaction out of her, but I just thought it was funny because the rest of my friends were like upset, and then they were like shook, but then she kind of was just like quiet about it. I don't know, it was kind of weird now that I think about it, because during that time she would start acting a little funny because we were friends in 8th grade, but then, and we were like cool then, but once we got to high school, like freshman year, like everything would be like a competition, and then I'm like, why are you trying to compete? Like, we're friends, we're not supposed to be like competing with each other over every little thing. We're supposed to support each other and you know, be there for each other. But she was always trying to turn stuff into a competition, so it was kind of obvious that she was, I mean, I ain't trying to say, oh, I got haters and stuff, but it was like obvious that she was hating because, I don't know, it was just the competition part. And what else? She would try to humiliate me in front of people too, because one time she was trying to make it seem like because I'm so skinny that I would be able to fight people, or that I would get hurt easily or something like that. But then I had to step up and show her what's up. And shortly after that, we had a fallout too. I don't know, let me know if y'all think that she possibly had something to do with it, or maybe I'm just overthinking it. That is the short story of how I got catfished, and to be honest, that was probably embarrassing. I mean, it was like stupid on my part because I was dating somebody who I haven't met, but the only reason that I went for it because I thought he was my friend's cousin, and I believed my friend, so it made sense. It made sense at the time. So thank y'all for watching this crazy little story. I hope y'all really enjoy it, and let me know your thoughts below. Yeah, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.